Hello students, how are you? Now this video is the third part of the chapter The Hack Driver. Now let's continue with the chapter. How about something to eat? I suggested let's go to a restaurant and I'll buy you lunch. So the narrator told to the hack driver that I am feeling very hungry. So let's go to the restaurant. We will have something to eat. Well, I ought to go home to the wife. So the hack driver told that no, I cannot go with you to the restaurant because it's too late and I have to go back to the home to my wife. I don't care much for these restaurants, only four of them, and they are all bad. Now I am not used to eat in the restaurant. I eat only at home. The food which my wife cooks, and I know only four restaurants, and all those four restaurants they are very bad, means bad in the sense they don't provide proper and hygienic food. Tell you what we will do. We will get the wife to pack up a lunch for us. She won't charge you more than $50, and it would cost you more for a greasy meal in a restaurant. And we will go up to Waits Hill and enjoy the view while we eat. So the hack driver suggested to the narrator that why don't we do one thing? Both of us will go to the house and whatever lunch or dinner my wife has prepared, that we will get it packed, and I will get the lunch packed for you also, and I will not take more than $50. But if you will go in the restaurant to eat, then it will cost more than what you take from my house. So, and second thing, the food will also not be hygienic. It will not be tasty as compared to the food which my wife will prepare. So why don't you come to my house and we will get it packed, and then we will go to the Waits Hill and we will enjoy our lunch there. I know that Bill's helpfulness to the young fellow from the city was not entirely a matter of brotherly love. Now the narrator, slowly and gradually, he came to understand that whatever generous nature, kind nature, sympathetic nature, or helpfulness of Bill for me is not only because of love. Okay, now he understood that earlier he has taken the fare for the hack for the tanga, and now he also wants money for the lunch. So it means he is trying to earn the money from me. I was paying him for his time. In the end, I paid him for 6 hours, including the lunch hour. Okay, so now in the Tanga, I have traveled for 6 hours, 5 hours, and 1 hour was for the lunch. So I have paid according to 6 hours at what was then a very high price. And for me, it was a very high price. This amount was too much. But he was no more dishonest than I. But the thing is, he was not a dishonest man. He was a very genuine, honest man. I charged the whole thing to the firm. But it would have been worth paying him myself to have his presence. So I did not mind for paying him because he was honest man, he was kind, he was sympathetic. In every other way, he has helped me. His cheerful country wisdom was very refreshing to a country boy like myself who was sick of the city. Now I was very tired of going in the city. I did not want to go in the city. So that's why the court has sent me to this town. And when I entered in the town, I did not like this town because this town seemed to be very dirty, and there was no hygienic anything seen in this town. But when I met this hack driver, I felt happy and cheerful. As we sat on the hilltop, looking over the pastures and creek which slipped among the trees, he talked of New Mullion and painted a picture in words of all the people in it. Now, after taking the lunch from his house, we went to the that hilltop, and there we sat and started taking our lunch, and we were having a view of also around us. And at that time, he discussed me he talked about the New Mullion, the town in which he has come, and he also told about the people, what kind of people resided there. He noticed everything, but no matter how much he might laugh at people, he also understood and forgave their foolishness. He told to me about their foolishness, about their maybe dishonesty. Some people were dishonest, some people were foolish, and he was laughing at those people who were foolish, but at the same time he forgave them also. He described the minister's wife who sang the loudest in church when she was most in depth. Means he was discussing about the minister of that town. So his wife, whenever she was in problem, she used to sing very loudly in the church. He commented on the boys who came back from college in fancy clothes. Now those boys who have gone to study in the college from this town, when they came back from the college, he told that you should see their clothes. They are so beautifully dressed. He told about the lawyer whose wife could never succeed in getting him to put on both a collar and a tie on the same day. So he also discussed about the lawyer, and he was laughing at the lawyer because every day either he forgot the collar or tie to wear. He made them all life. Means the way he was describing all these people about his town, about his area, it was such that it seemed to me that all these people are standing in front of me. They are alive in front of me. On that day I came to know New Mullion better than I did the city, and to love it better. Now through his words, through his mouth, I came to know about this town, and after that I realized that now I know something about this town. If we would not have discussed about this town, I would not have come to know anything. Bill did not know about colleges and cities, but he had traveled around a lot of the country and had had a lot of jobs. Now he was not knowing about college. He did not have any information about the city because he has never visited college, neither he has visited the city. But he has traveled in different parts of the country, and he has taken many jobs also. So his experience was good enough. From his adventures, he had brought back a philosophy of simplicity and laughter. He strengthened me. Means from his whole life experience, what he told, that two things are very important a person should have. One is simplicity, he should be simple, and another is he should always be smiling and laughing in life. Then only he can enjoy the life. We left that peaceful scene of meadows and woods and resumed our search of Oliver Lutkins. Now, after taking our lunch, we came back to our work of searching Oliver Lutkins. We could not find him. At last, Bill cornered a friend of Lutkins and made him admit what he guessed. Oliver has gone out to his mother's farm 3 miles north. Now, after searching a lot, when we were unsuccessful in finding him, then we went back to the friend of the Lutkins, and his friend told that he has gone to his mother's farm. And how much distance it was at? It was of about 3 miles. We drove out there laying plants. Now we were we were traveling towards the farm of Oliver Lutkins' mother's farm, and in between on the way we were also making the plants. I know Oliver's mother, she is a terror. Bill sighed. So Bill told that I am well aware of his mother. She is a very terrific lady, horrifying lady. I took a trunk out there for her once, and she almost took my skin off because I didn't treat it like a box of eggs. Now he told one incident that one day she called me, so I went to her house, and she told me to take out a trunk. The trunk was lying somewhere and she was not able to pull out that trunk. So she told me to pull out the trunk, and when I pulled out, I have pulled out not with delicacy. So she scolded me too much. She even beated me for not handling that trunk in a gentle manner, in a kind manner. She is about 9 feet tall and 4 feet thick and quite quick as a cat, and she sure can talk. When she is very talkative, she is very healthy also, and she is very quick also in work. And what is her height? About 9 feet. I will bet Oliver heard that somebody is chasing him, and he is gone on there to hide behind his mother's skirts. Now mother is very bold, very courageous lady. So I think that Oliver has come to know that you are searching him, you are following him. So that's why, in order to protect himself, he has gone to his mother's house. Well, we will try her, but you would better let me do it, boy. So let us go to Oliver's mother and we will search Oliver there. But I'll be for the first to go. You don't go inside first. You may be great at literature and law, but you haven't had real training in swearing. Means you must be very educated, very talented person, very intelligent, but you don't know how to tackle the problems of life. We drove into a poor farmyard. We were faced by an enormous and cheerful old woman. Now we started driving towards the farm, and when we reached there, we saw a very enormous, a very tall heighted lady and cheerful also. She was very happy also by nature. My guide bravely went up to her and said, "Remember me? I am Bill Magnuson, the carton and the hackman. I want to find your son Oliver." So as we reached to the farmyard, my guide, who is the guide, the hack driver suddenly moved inside and came in front of Oliver's mother, and he told to his mother that, "Do you recognize me? I am Bill Magnuson. I am the hackman, this tanga driver." "I don't know anything about Oliver and I don't want to," she shouted. As soon as she saw this Bill, she told that, "I don't know where Oliver is and I don't want to know also. I'm not at all interested in him. Now look here, we have had just about enough nonsense. This young man represents the court in the city and we have a legal right to search all properties for this Oliver Lutkins." So Bill told that, "Why you are shouting? We have come to search Oliver," because then he introduced the lady to this narrator, and he told that this person has come from the court and it is the order of the court to find him. That's why he has come here. So we have the legal right to search him. Bill made me sound very important. Means when Bill was talking to Oliver's mother, in his talk only it was clear that I was very important person because I have come from the city, and second thing, court has sent me. And the woman was impressed. The woman was very happy to meet me. She retired into the kitchen and we followed. She went back to the kitchen and we also went after her. She seized an iron from the old-fashioned stove and marched on us shouting, "You search all you want to, if you don't mind getting burnt first." She shouted and laughed at our frightened retreat. Now she went into the kitchen and she picked up the iron, which was very hot, and she told to both of us that, "You can search Oliver here, and if you will not find Oliver, then I will burn both of you with this iron." So we started retreating. Retreating means we started moving at the backside. "Let's go out of here, she will murder us," Bill whispered. Outside he said, Did you see her smile? She was laughing at us." So the Bill was very, very horrified, means he was very much frightened, and he told to the narrator that, "Let's move outside. If we will not search Oliver here, then she will burn us, means she will murder us, she will kill us. So let's go away from here." And when both of them came outside the house, then Bill told to the narrator that, "Did you see how she was laughing? She was making fun of us." I agreed that it was pretty disrespectful treatment. So I also said that yes, her behavior was not normal, it was abnormal, and it was very bad also. It was not respecting. We did, however, search the house. But we searched the house, we could not find Oliver. Since it was only one story high, Bill went around it, searched the house, peering it all at the windows. Now it was only one story building, so Bill entered in the house. He went to the upper story also, and he searched in the windows also, but he was not able to find Oliver. We examined the barn and stable. We were reasonably certain that Lutkins was not there. Even we searched in the stable also, but we could not find Lutkins. It was nearly time for me to catch the afternoon train, and Bill drove me to the station. Now it was 1 hour, means 1 o'clock, and it was the time for this narrator to catch his train. So both of us came out of the house and we moved towards the station because I had to catch the train and I have to reach to the court in time. On the way to the city, I worried very little over my failure to find Lutkins. Now, when I was going back, I was not at all unhappy, or I was not at all disappointed for not finding the Oliver, because for the purpose for which I have come. I was too busy thinking about Bill Magnuson. In my mind, the ideas were moving only around Bill. Really, I considered returning to New Million to practice law. Means I like this town so much because of this person only, because of Bill only. And I was thinking to settle myself in this town to do the practice of law. If I had found Bill so deep and richly human, might I not grow to love Fritz and Gustav and 100 other slow spoken, simple, wise neighbors? I pictured an honest and happy life beyond the strict limits of universities and law firms. Now, the city life in which I was living, which I was leading along with the court, the law life, I was not happy with that because there were many restrictions in that kind of life. So I wanted to come back in this town and I wanted to lead a happy and exciting life like Bill was leading. I was very excited to meet him. I had found a treasure. Treasure means khazana. I had discovered a new way of life. Means through Bill, I came to know that how a person can be happy in the life and how he can lead an enjoyable life, because it depends upon you how you take the life. If you take it in a positive way, you will be happy, and if you take it in a negative way, then obviously you will be dissatisfied and sad. But if I did not think much more about Lutkins, the office did. Now he thought that I am not worried, I am not in tension, that I am not able to find Lutkins. But when I will return back to the office, then the people in the office, they will be worried that I am not successful in my task. I found them all upset. All were upset with me because I was not successful in my job. Next morning, the case was coming up in the court and they had to have Lutkins. Now, in the next morning, it was urgent to present Lutkins in the court because the case has to be proceeded. I was a shameful, useless fool. Now, the purpose with which I have gone to that town, to that area, that purpose was not at all solved. So, I thought myself to be very foolish, to be very humorous. That morning, my promising legal career almost came to an end before it had begun, and now I came to realize that if I will go in the court without Oliver Lutkins, then maybe I would lose my career. I would not be able to continue. They will dismiss me. The chief almost murdered me. He hinted that I might do well at digging ditches. Now the chief, the owner of the mine, means the employer, he was not at all happy with me and he shouted at me a lot and he told me that you are not suitable for this job, for this legal work. You should go and dig the ditches. I was ordered back to New Million and with me went a man who had worked with Lutkins. Now again the next day court sent me to the same town, and this time I was not sent alone. Some other person had come with me who was well aware, who very well knew about Oliver, who knew how he looked, and he also knew where he would be found. I was rather sorry because it would prevent my loafing all over again with Bill. Now I was very happy because again I was going to meet the Bill. So why this man was sent with the narrator? So that the narrator in the first attempt was not successful. So now if he will go with this another man who know Oliver Lutkins, then obviously he will be able to find Lutkins. When the train arrived at New Million, Bill was on the station platform near his cart. Now when we reached on the platform, I saw Bill standing at the platform. Strangely enough, that old tigress Lutkins' mother was there, talking and laughing with Bill, not quarreling at all. Earlier, when we went to the farmhouse of Oliver, we found that Oliver's mother quarreling with Bill. But now she was not fighting. She was laughing. She was enjoying with Bill standing at the station, and she was also busy in talking. From the train steps, I pointed Bill out to my companion and said, "There's a fine fellow, a real man. I spent the day with him." Now, as soon as I found Bill at the station, I was very happy to see Bill, and I introduced Bill with the person with whom I have come to this town, and I told that this is a really jolly fellow, a very happy fellow, and I enjoyed his company a lot. He helped you hunt for Oliver Lutkins. So the person who had come with me, he was very surprised. And in a surprising way, he asked that this person has supported you in finding Lutkins. Yes, he helped me a lot. He must have. He is Lutkins himself. So now the tragedy, the irony is that the person who has helped the narrator in finding the Lutkins, he himself was Lutkins, and the narrator was very surprised to listen to this. What really hurt me was that when I served the summons, Lutkins and his mother laughed at me as though I were a bright boy of 7. With loving kindness, they begged me to go with them to a neighbor's house for a cup of coffee. So, when I came to know that this man, Bill himself, is Lutkins, then Bill and means Oliver and his mother, they both started laughing at me. Why? Because they were successful in cheating me, in deceiving me. I was a lawyer. I was very intelligent because I was a lawyer, but still I could not judge their deception, their cheating. I told them about you and they are anxious to look at you, said Lutkins joyfully. They are about the only folks in the town that missed seeing you yesterday. So, then the Oliver's mother requested me to have a cup of coffee in their neighbor's house, and we all went there. And Lutkin said that all the people of this town, they were missing me. Lutkin told to the narrator that all the people were missing me. You went yesterday, I was also missing you. So this was all about a funny story that how a person who was a lawyer, a young man, how he was deceived by a woman and by the man to whom he himself was searching. So this is all about the story. In the next video, we will discuss the question answers of this chapter. Thank you.